trying to send a message to his people back in the ghetto. He had a home one time, love of a girl, but he left all that behind. Oh yes, I can hear him clearly as he whispers in the air. His voice came out loud and clear. All he asked for was a prayer, and as he turns to walk away, he said, I'm still here in the house of Bethel for the love of the nation. I'm still here in the house of Bethel for the love of the nation. I'm still here in the house of Bethel for the love of the sun went down on the mountain, birds flew back to their hiding places, living standing there like a telephone pole. In the still of the night, you and I dreaming of Romeo and Juliet. All he dreams about is the freedom of the nation, when every man will be equal in the eyes of the Lord. As he closes his eyes for the last time, he said again, I'm still here in the house of Bethel for the love of the nation. I'm still here in the house of Bethel for the love of the nation. I'm still here.
Thank you for staying with me. The program is The Podium on 32 FM 94.9, and this is where we induct very important discourses that affect our nation and, of course, Oyo State, which is our home state. That song you just heard, House of Exile by Lucky Dube, he opens with freedom fighter standing on a mountain in a foreign country trying to send a message to his people back in the ghetto. He had a home one time. Let me jump to this part I love. He said, I'm still here in the house of exile for the love of the nation. Excuse me. Sun went down on the mountain. Birds flew back to their hiding places, leaving him standing there like a telephone pole and the still of the night you and I dream. While you may interpret that song as a love note, you could also get the tone of despondency, the tone of anxiety from that song. Presently, Nigeria is plagued by multitudes of problems, security challenges. Many would argue that the problems did not start today. The problems did not start with this administration. You backdate them to the years of neglect and abandonment that the security architecture had suffered. But then you'd expect that since government is a continuum, successive governments would make an attempt to improve on the areas where previous governments had failed. Nigeria is still battling Boko Haram. Then we had the cases of banditry and kidnapping coming to the scene. Oyo State has not been spared of this plague that is hitting the land. In recent times, there have been reported cases of robbery, kidnap, and of course, killings, especially in the Ibarakba and Okeogun axis of the state. You'd recall that last week, an ethnic warlord, as he has been called in some quarters, Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igbo, had visited Igogo where he read the riot act to the Fulani settlers, telling them to leave the land within a 7-day ultimatum, or he would unleash war on them. The state governor did a broadcast in the course of the week condemning the calls by those he called unauthorized persons who threatened people off their legal livelihood. And he said the state would not stop at anything to arrest those who may perpetrate violence in the state. Yesterday was the 7th day, the termination of the ultimatum that Sunday Igboho gave the Fulani settlers in Ibarakpa land. And to keep to his word, Sunday Igboho led a team of his own people, helped by some of the indigents, to drive out those they called Fulani headsmen who had led the violence that had been repeatedly unleashed on the land. I had prepared to read a treatise on this, but then because my guest came in earlier than I expected, I want us to hit the ground running so that we have enough time to talk, and then we can open the phone lines for you to also engage us. Remember, you can watch me live on YouTube at 32FM 949 Ibadan. At 32FM 949 Ibadan. Now, if you go on Facebook, you check my Facebook page, HEZEKIAH OWOSENI AKINRINDE. That's my Facebook page. I posted a question or questions there, and I said, one, how do you rate the response of the Oyo State government to the Fulani indigenous crisis in Ibarakpa Okiogun? What more could be done to nip the emerging crisis in the bud? I asked you to share your thoughts as I host the special advice on security to the Oyo State governor. It is on this note that I welcome my guest, a former commissioner of police. His tenure in Lagos State was very popular because of the way he handled miscreants, hoodlums, and those who disturb the peace of that state. Now he is the special advisor on security to the executive governor of Oyo State. Mr. FATAI OWOSENI, you're welcome to the studios of 32 FM.
Good morning, Hakim, and good morning, viewers. It wasn't only Lagos State. I was in Benue State, had a thick of the herdsmen farmers clashes as well, and that is why we are sharing experience. Good morning once again.
I'm very happy that by yourself, you just read a part of your CV that interests people. So let's take it from this point. You are the security advisor to the Oyo State governor, special advisor on security to the Oyo State governor. How would you assess the security situation in the state?
I will start by making a small comment from your introductory remark. You said the nation as a whole, we're having challenges, and permit me to say this in Yoruba. When you are mukun, you have said it. Everything that is happening now, it's not starting from this present administration at the federal and the state level. Who are the problems? What are the causes? What are the factors? Okay, you, me, you and I, all of us, because sovereignty is in the hands of the people. And of course, why has everything degenerated to this level? It's because all of us, we have refused to, play our part for everything that is happening, for every misgovernance. All of us are all involved. Emi, Atiwo, Atibubuwani. So we must take it from that. The Constitution, which is the superordinate law of the land, as the fundamental principle of state policy in Chapter 2. How much of it have we lived? Because that part of the Constitution has given some obligations to the government at federal, state, local level to render. And of course, the leaders are in authority, they are in position on behalf of all of us. And of course, who put them there? All of us. Diboko Shebe. If we continue like that, if we, as the people, we have not been able to take the people that run the governance of the country at the state level and at the local level into account on the basis of the fundamental principles of state policy, we continue to lament. Enough of lamentation. The media, the civil society, let us go back to that part of the Constitution and, challenge our leaders to that. That is one. In your state, how has it been? 2020 was an unusual year. An unusual year in the sense that you probably not have a 2020. We don't know what the 2021 will look like, whether it's going to be worse or not. But unusual year in the sense that you probably may not have such things repeated in that magnitude, maybe in the next 90, 100 years. With hindsight of history and the historians, they will tell you that every pandemic year would always come with serious challenges. Businesses will be short. Gaps in amongst people will be wider. And in our own case in Nigeria, while we were battling and grappling with that, the HENSAS thing also came, which some criminal element hijacked. So in an unusual year like that, everything is unpredictable. So, but in your state, I would say that it's not been that bad. Oyo State has been relatively secured, and for us that were in uniform before, we would say relatively secure but unpredictable situations. It is fluid. A lot of opportunistic crimes will come up, and when you come to opportunistic crimes, it's not much you can do to stop them. So I would assess Oyo State security, in the context of all the challenges that had occurred, and of course in comparison with other states of the Federation, Oyo State still rank amongst about one of the relatively safe and secure place.
Let me bounce a bit back to May 29, 2019, when the present governor was inaugurated at the Liberty Stadium. Right after that, in fact, while the inauguration was going on, the first sign of violence that this administration would record took place within the gates of Liberty Stadium, where two factions of the NURTW at the time clashed. I was at that inauguration, and I saw some of the scenes outside myself. Now, build up from that, a few weeks after, there was a tussle over the control of the NURTW, which led to the governor proscribing the union. Now, build up from that time, you've had repeated and reported cases of robberies in Ibadan, citizens going about their normal businesses and getting assaulted, even before NSAS came up. Now, I have stories of friends who were robbed while getting money from the ATM or while parking their cars to buy things. Agbowo, especially, I have people living around there who complain of how thieves come around to raid houses repeatedly. Now, the argument is that security under this administration has nosedived when compared with the administration of the late Abiola Ajimobi between 2011 and 2019.
I don't want to join in controversies of politicians. You have said right from the first day of inauguration, you noticed certain things. So would you say that it's Governor Seyi Makinde that on that day now brought those people that caused problem? That is to say that those things have been there before. That is one. Then secondly, Yes, unfortunately, you are having these things, and the Constitution also provides that welfare and security of the people should be the primary focus of government. But there is nowhere, no crime that you have zero crime. If, in as much as you have people living, habitating a place, there must be one form of crime or the other. And of course, what people do to help themselves is, raising their consciousness with regards to security. What has the security people been doing? Some of these questions you also need to take them back to the people that are the helms of affairs of security. The governor is not the commissioner of police, it's not the garrison commander or anything. What the state does is to make sure that wherewithal is provided for the security agencies. How well those people utilize those things is another thing. From what's been happening in Oyo State, as the security people also lived up to expectations, just like you have some of these things. If you have the police PRO here or the commissioner of police, it will also tell you that so many arrests have been made, and the arrest can be made when it comes to crime. There are so many units involved in criminal justice administration. How much has the judiciary done? How much has the correctional services done in order to make sure that all of them work in synergy to make sure that they send these criminals to where they're supposed to be? And you also have the law. Everything is done within the ambit of the law, because one of the main things with democracy is the rule of law. So it's one thing to arrest, is another thing to get all those things true. So that shouldn't be a yardstick. And in a place where you have growth and development, every growth and development would also attract some of those things. People want to go to where things are happening. You cannot say that the Ibadan of 2018 or 2019 is the Ibadan of today. So many things are happening. You would have people that will, the influx and all those things. So it is to be done, using all those indices to measure. And that is why when they measure the rate of crime, they don't look at the number. They measure it with regards to the population and every other thing that is happening in the society. That is how it is done all over the world. We can only use all this to see, to the next level, what can we do? So how much of predictive policing can we do? How much of proactive policing can we do?
So you don't think the security situation in your state is worsening?
I would not agree with you.
The governor said that the press is exaggerating the security situation. Do you told that same line of thought with him?
My position is that you cannot completely eradicate crime. You can only reduce crime to the barest minimum. And you have to look at other factors within the society. Experts and researchers have also looked at that. If you have 10 people populating a particular community, and you have it increased to 20, 30, 40, the likelihood of having increased crime is also there. And as I said, there are some crimes they call opportunistic crimes that the individuals also have to play his own part to control.
Do you also think, there was a question I asked that you've not answered, Mr. OWOSENI. Do you also think that the media is exaggerating the security situation in your state? Do you agree with your principal?
No. What I would say is that the Constitution also provide, obligations for the media, and we've seen what the social media is causing, and that is why some irresponsible people have been taken out of some of those social media. It depends on how you report it. If you celebrate criminals, if you celebrate crimes, you are empowering them. I have always mentioned, you go to the United States of America, somebody will come to a big supermarket or in a school, and they will fire and kill as much as 10, 15 people. And they will say that a gunman entered a supermarket and killed some people. They will not come out to say that robbery that's taking place. So the media also have a responsibility. There's what they call responsible journalism. So just like government has its obligation, the media also has its obligation. So there are ways that we shouldn't send information out that would make people to be panicked.
Okay, but is reporting that somebody was killed on his farmland a panic reporting? Is reporting that robbery took place or that there's an increase in the spate of robberies in the city creating panic? Or is it that the government naturally does not want a feel of the media saying it as it is?
You have to balance it. If you are saying that, oh, this has happened, you should also talk of the efforts that the security people have made.
But the efforts are not seen.
Look, I was in service before, and I've had interactions with the media. I've always told people there's nothing to lie about. If things happen, they have happened, and if they have happened, what can we do to stop those things occurring again? But there are sometimes, you will agree with me, or you may not agree, there are sensational headlines. And I have had calls in situations while I was in service to ask, why did you put this headline? The business aspect of it to make profit. And of course, the journalist will say that, look, if I don't use that caption, I won't get customers. I want to sell. So at the expense of running your business, you just feel that you use a caption that is sensational, that will put panic to people. Even look at it. Everybody, every institution, every agency has one form of gap or the other. There are some headlines that will not speak to the story that follows. You may not agree, but we've seen it. So that's the way it is.
I'm going to take a commercial break. When I come back, because I have the security advisor to the governor in the studios, I would love to talk about Amotekun and its operations. Before I go, Mr. Owoseni, you know about Amotekun?
Oh, sure.
You know their operations. Are you involved, or it is out of your coverage?
All of us are involved.
You, as the security advisor to the governor, are you involved in?
You are also involved.
I'm a journalist.
No.
You provide advice. You give advice.
Yes.
Right? Strategic guidance you provide for the governor.
All of us give advice.
You are deeply involved in
all of us give advice. You are also deeply involved.
We will know who gives the advice and who doesn't give the advice when I come back from this break. Mr. FATAI OWOSENI, security advisor to the governor for your state, is in the studios. I'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
32 FM 94.9.
Breakfast your day every day with the nourishment of malt, milk and cocoa and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Are you going somewhere or you're looking for a comfortable, safe and affordable ride? Be smart. Request for a ride now on Tour Rider app, the go-to cab hailing app for the smart riders. With Tour Rider app, you enjoy great pricing. You can choose your permanent pilot, request a ride without data or smartphone. You activate your trip with an OTP. You also have the opportunity to tip your pilots. And you stand a chance of earning bonus rides and winning up to 10,000 naira. Don't get left out. Make the smart choice. Go with Tor. Download Tor Rider app from Google Play Store and Apple Store. For more details and inquiries, visit www.mytordrive.com or call 0909 000 7954. 0909 000 7954. That's 0909 000 7954.
Our friend Oliver is what you call a man with a huge appetite. Gigantic, actually. And if there's one phrase we have come to know Oliver for, it is this.
More data, please.
No matter what we offer him.
More data, please.
So, guess what we did? We heard Glow created new data plans for people like Oliver, and we got him exactly that. And guess what Oliver said?
Excuse me, please, is this all for me? Only me?
Now, Oliver certainly has more than enough data. All thanks to the Glow Mega Data Plans.
With the longer validity you get on Glow Mega Data Plans, you can work from home with ease, run your business better, download non-stop, stream music and movies endlessly, learn online, and share data with anyone. No worries. Get 225 gigabytes at 30,000 naira for 30 days, 425 gigabytes at 50,000 naira for 90 days, and 1 terabyte at 100,000 naira for a year. Dial star 777 hash now to start enjoying these mega plans.
Glow Unlimited.
Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ nípasẹ̀ ìròyìn BBC ní Yorùbá. Nítorí kí o tó lè tayọ, o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n. Ní ìmísí pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ìròyìn láti ibi àti káàkiri àgbáyé. Nígbà tí o bá ní ìmọ̀ nípa ohun tó ń lọ ní àgbáyé, o lè ṣe ohunkóhun. Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ. Wá BBC News Yorùbá kàn.
All right, in case you want to know ahead of time, the phone numbers you can call me on when it is time. I will open the phone lines and let you talk to me. 080-97,949 or 090-62,949. My guest today is the security advisor to the Oyo State Governor and a former commissioner of police in both Benue and Lagos states, Mr. Fatai OWOSENI. Mr. OWOSENI, Amotekun was created to provide intelligence, local intelligence, and using the words of the governor, across all the wards in Oyo State. Amotekun has started killing innocent citizens. At the last count, about 13 people were killed as a result of the bullets fired by Amotekun personnel. I hosted the commandant of Amotekun last week. It was feisty and very combative because he was not happy I was asking those questions. I believe you are not going to fight me for asking these questions.
Why will anybody fight anyone for asking innocent questions?
He was very angry at me.
It's just about also giving innocent answers.
I asked him about Takpa. He said I should answer Takpa myself.
Look, listen to me.
Why is Amotekun killing Oyo State citizens?
The situation is this. We cannot conclusively say that. Those cases are under investigation. The circumstances, versions have been given. And of course, that is where we should mind the language we use. Just like we're talking about reportage as well. I would also digress a bit. One of the situations I was talking of about responsible journalism is someone had reported, I think it was last month or so, that said that armed robbers invaded the Secretariat Ibadan, and they invaded the office of the secretary to the state government and carted away a lot of properties when nothing had happened. What would you call that? Irresponsible journalism. With regards to the question you asked on Amotekun, His Excellency had said it, and we've also said it. For every killing, it's going to be followed by investigation. We should be very careful. If we had, make, a call, a distress call now to say something is happening here, and people have responded, and in the process, things have happened, maybe exchange of fires, especially with the situation we have in our community now, that for every distress call that is made to say that some people are looting places and all those things, when you get there, what you meet are all those violent youths In some cases, they'll fire at you. In some cases, they will throw stones at you. And that is why I won't want us to jump into conclusion until investigation is carried out. Very unfortunate. No one prays for any family member to be killed. Even the institutions before Amotekun, they have such cases. And that is why quite a number of people are taking me up on this. Even with what led to the HENSAS thing, why some of us think they didn't think through before people came on the road. Someone will call to say, I require help. And you get there, the person has been held hostage or whatever. And in the course of probably liberating that person, exchange of fire has taken place. And maybe the criminal element fell into superior firing power. And when we want to report it, we don't report it in the context with which it happened. I will not, cast any whatever now. Investigations are ongoing. Let us see the investigation through, and also hoping that we will be truthful in the investigation, that justice will be done, that we will be fair, that nobody would succumb to any blackmail or anything. So let's follow it through, especially the families of the respective victims. They should be able to come out to say, this is what has happened, this is what has happened. So that's the way I want us to look at it for now.
Is Amotekun licensed to kill?
No security agency or security personnel is licensed to kill.
Can they kill under any guise?
When you want to defend your life or you want to defend people that are under threats. And that is why we talk of commensurate response. If someone is taking a gun before you, you know that...
Like a balance of terror.
Yes, you know, when it comes to security, you have a right to certain discretion at the theater of operation. If you are in a place where a threat has been reported, and the next thing you see when you get there is someone facing you with a gun, would you allow the person to pull the trigger before you pull your own? So that is it. And it does happen like that occasionally. So no one is licensed to kill. Extrajudicial measures totally outlaw. But when you get to the scene of crime, when you have the theater of operation, a lot of things do take place. And it is just a 1 minute or a 1 second discretion that would change the course of things. Because if you allow the criminal element to pull the trigger before you pull your own, you are dead. You also have families.
Amotekun personnel go about with Dane guns. They said they can carry Dane guns. We see them carry Dane guns. These guys were trained for 2 weeks.
I think it's more than 2 weeks.
Just under a month. It was about 2 weeks that they were trained.
It's about 3 weeks.
In camp. Okay,
yes.
3 weeks. Now, and they carry firearms. Whether you like it, a Dane gun is a firearm.
Dane gun,
it can kill.
Dane gun they have been using to do their hunting. They have been using to do their farming in the farm. And of course, virtually every farmer hunter have Dane gun. So they have been used to that Dane gun, using it to do their hunting in their different farms. And we should be very careful. We talk of insecurity. The same way that talk of insecurity, the same way that say, oh, we should be looking for a homegrown solution. We should be going to grassroots policing and all those things. We call for it. You have it. You are demonizing them. So let us be careful what we do.
Was there a psychological evaluation of these guys before they were pushed into the society?
Psychological evaluation is a continuous process. The two of us are sitting down here now. We can be psychologically evaluated.
Mr. Ocean, was there any attempt at any point before they were released to go out and to evaluate them psychologically?
I know that the training is comprehensive, but we talk of continuous training.
I'm asking about a deliberate exercise to evaluate this guy psychologically. You know, because in the aftermath of NSAS, we came to a point where it was agreed that SARS was to be disbanded, but before they would also be absorbed into the mainstream of the police force, they would have to undergo a very, very rigorous process of psychological evaluation.
That is where all of us get it wrong. Everyone should be evaluated. Myself, yourself. Is it
more importantly, a man who bears the firearm?
And of course, every person on the road. That is why you see situation now when two cars clashes. The next thing is you are seeing someone slapping the other. So the atmosphere is tense. The atmosphere has been militarized. So when you evaluate someone, it's a continuous process. You can evaluate me now. Just like the doctors will say that everyone has his own moment of sanity and whatever. The two of us can be evaluated now. In another 5 minutes, something will happen. A whole lot of things work around us. And within the cosmic realm as well, a whole lot of things to happen. So, is that a solution that you say, no, every SARS personnel should be evaluated? All of us, all our leaders should be evaluated psychologically.
Now let's go to the emerging crisis in Oyo State. We have a crisis on our hand that is showing its face. It's rearing its head. It has been there for a long while. If you like, backdate it to the start of the Fourth Republic, when the late Lama Adesina was governor of Oyo State.
Are you talking of herdsmen and farmers clashes?
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Republic.
Exactly what I mean.
To the colonial regime.
I was just saying, if you like, just leave out those. Because I'm talking about recent memory. Yeah. I would like to dwell on recent memory, and it's for a reason, because yes. I'm going to pick a reference point from the time of Lama Adesina that we are going to build on.
Okay.
And I'm happy you are a Yoruba man, because there's also an ethnic dimension that is coming into this discourse now. Now, why has the Fulani indigene or herdsman farmer crisis in the Okeogun Barakpa axis refused to go away?
That is why I said we should trace it back to the colonial regime, and everything is about resources. I was in Sudan, and of course I was in Darfur. When it comes to resources, it's a problem in Africa. And when you come to a situation where people don't plan, you have things like this. I have mentioned that I was in Benue State. I saw it. I experienced it. The North Central Belt. The thing has always been that when you have dry season, you have the movement. I would use the North Central now. The Fadama, the Fadama area, where it is said that the forage there is rich, the water coming out there is also rich, and the same thing we're having here. So what we should be asking is, why has government at federal level and at state level not come to a point on how to find a lasting solution? If you watch some of this foreign media, I was watching one, India, for example. There are ways that they plan for the dry season in order for people not to move their animals. The herders that are doing it will also tell you that they value their animals. And I've had cause to tell them that if you value your animals, the man that has tilled the ground to plant oranges, cassava, and whatever, also value those things. So where is it written as a code that you must deprive others? But what we should be careful about is this, especially the Southwest people. We are the ones that claim to have gone to school. When it comes to crime, no coloration should be given to it. A criminal is a criminal. A bandit is a bandit. We mustn't label a particular ethnic group. As you sit down here now, Tede Aguare, for the past 2 days or so, they've been engaged in one senseless fight. Would you now say that every Tede people are criminals? that is where I would deviate a bit. Crimes, criminals should not be colorated politically, ethnically, religiously. We've been, making noise about the Western world, especially the United States of America and some other Western countries, where they would say that if you're holding a green passport, you are labeled as a criminal or someone that is likely to commit crimes. So are we happy about that? We're not happy about it because they've colorated every potential criminals, and every criminal has Nigerians. Meanwhile, you have Nigerians that are also making waves in those countries. So coming back home, we shouldn't continue to label a particular set of people to say that they're criminals. And we must be very, very careful. I've been wanting to avoid this conversation. Why do I say we must be careful? We also have people living in Bauchi State, living in Kano State, living in Sokoto State. So if a Yoruba person had gone to rob in Kano, and they now say that every Yoruba person is an armed robber, are we going to create another Tutsi and Hutus here? So it is not the solution. What is happening now? Where do we go next? And it's the Yoruba people, with the Yoruba people, that says that if there is no crack on the wall, a lizard will not enter. Have we talked to ourselves? All the thoughtless settlements that some of our elders, some of our leaders are giving to all sort of people. Some that are not even.
I'm going to come to that.
Those people. The person that is in question, you must have heard that in Oyo State. They will tell you that they have quite a number of Seriki. Someone is saying that's a Seriki in Oyo State. Someone admitted him there. He's been there for the past 50 years.
I'm going to come to that because I intend to also touch that aspect of it. But you were talking about casting a particular group of people and the same color because of the reported misdemeanors of a few of them. But let's go back to a bit of, would I say, history. Let's take some references from the past. We've had indications or reports of kidnapped victims who came back and said, those who kidnapped me spoke the language from that part of the north. Some who understood Fulani said, look, the people I saw, I read a report recently of a man who was kidnapped on the Ilesha Akure road or something. Now, where he said, look, those who kidnapped me, their features were this, their language was this. I didn't understand it, but I could pick a few words that they used. Now, you also have an instance of, in the early days of the Lamadeshino governorship, when there was a clash between herders and indigents, when the present president, then retired Major General Muhammadu Buhari, came to Ibadan, and he was reported to have challenged the governor then this way: why are your people killing my people? Trace it back. The issue also started from, you took our land, you grazed your cattle on our land. Now, it is not difficult to identify ethnic nationality, not in a place like Nigeria. The peculiarities of the Okyogun and the Barakpa issues are such that they know themselves. And remember, I listened to Sunday Igboho make a statement. He said, this Seriki in person, that was his own statement. He said, this Seriki in person was the one who would give money, who would take money to those who kidnap our people and bring the victims back, thereby indicting the Seriki of knowing those who were perpetrating this evil. Would you still say it is wrong to address that ethnic nationality as the problem of that axis?
I will repeat it 1 million times, that you don't stereotype. That because one person from one ethnic group has done something. Security is a very delicate thing. So it shouldn't be ethnicized. It shouldn't be politicized at all. Criminals are criminals. Bandits are bandits. Kidnappers are kidnappers. So let us all, because the fellows you are talking of would also tell you that the people that are doing this, that you said are from us, are also rustling our cows and killing our people in the bush. We should address it from the porous border as well. In some of those cases, some of the people that have been arrested, there's also, it's been said openly that some of these people, come into the country from outside. And when you're going to do that, it should be a joint effort. The ones that you have as residents, how much can they identify the foreigners? And like I said before, even those ones that infiltrate the country from another place through our porous border, we are the same people that accommodate them there for one base money or the other. They go and collect heads of cows.
Are you indicting traditional rulers?
I'm indicting all of us.
Don't say all of us, because I don't live. My focus now is in Barakpa Ukyogo. I don't live there. Yeah. I do not have any economic interest there, not even cultural interest.
I wish that you would get the security people to come and tell their story, the people that are serving now. For most of those cases, yes, some appear a straight kidnapping case. Some will appear like assassination cases. Me and you have always laid this example. We are both in the car, maybe I'm your driver, and you are discussing with one of your customer or one of your clients. Oh, Alaji, that 10 million that we're supposed to deposit, I'm on my way to your house to come and deposit it. Where you would know that for most of these things, there are insiders. Me, as your driver, I will pretend I'm driving, holding the steering. Meanwhile, my concentration is what you're discussing. If you've not been treating me well, which shouldn't amount to what will make me, to commit a murder against you or to kidnap you. I'm also giving information to people. So for some of the cases, you have the insider's hands. Before you know it, yes, I've had interaction with some of the operatives. Yes, some of the people that are in detention now, because for virtually all the cases that occurred in Nibarapa, you also have arrest, and you also have cases where the victims have come to identify. It is true that largely, close to 80 to 85% of those people that were arrested are people
from that ethnic extraction.
From that ethnic extraction that speak the language. Some of our children speak the language as well. So, and when they tell you their story, they will tell you, oh, Fatai, Solomon, who work for you, are the people that invited us to come and do this. And in the process, and that is why we have to be careful in the way we are going about it. Are you sure that some of the criminal elements that belong to us, that know that they would name them, are not also part of this?
Mr. Owoseni, you've not answered my question. Yeah. I asked specifically,
I would say it,
are traditional rulers complicit?
All of us.
Traditional rulers from that axis, are they complicit? You have access to intelligence reports.
The people in that area are complicit for every area where you have border. That is why, have you not noticed that in most of the border areas, there is this conspiracy of silence? Virtually everyone, they are the ones that run Okada that will ferry these people in. They're the ones that would go and give them temporary accommodation.
But it is the same traditional rulers who have called out to Sunday Igboho to deliver them now.
That is why we have to be careful the way we do things. I'm not even talking of only the traditional rulers there. Even the people that are in that area, they are the ones that, work in court with them. And is that a solution? Is that going to be the solution? We should think through it very well in order not to, start another trouble for ourselves.
Amoteku is supposed to play a major role in ensuring peace in that environment.
And when they play that major role, we are all the people that condemn them as well.
If they have not done it well, do the people not have a right to condemn them?
No, you say we should be.
We cannot say because you're supposed to save us, you kill us,
we should be very,
and then we applaud you.
We should be very careful. The incident that happened in Ibarakwa at that time, it's been repeated several times that too. A decision was taken to say, look, have a joint effort. The conventional security people, the Operation Burst, the civil defense, the police, element of the Miyetti Allah and the Fulanis, who knows the terrain, who knows the forest, who knows the one that are strangers, who knows the undocumented one that are committing the crimes, who can supply you with information, with non-state actors, the hunters. So, okay, let's pull ourselves together. We know the route those people used to take. We know some of the abandoned places that these people have put their hearts in, those ungoverned places. Let us do things together. And of course, they were doing those things. We came out. Remember that in that axis when they went there is another person that is a Serikin Fulani. There is a chairman of Miyetti Allah that collaborated with them. And while this effort is ongoing, including the effort that is on the pipeline to say that we should document all the ones that are legally and lawfully resident here, that have been doing their lawful business, that the third, fourth generation have been here, so that you can now have good intelligence, good data, that when people infiltrate, you will know. All those efforts are ongoing. So they started all these things, and some of the people came up to say, oh, no, don't do it that way, don't do it that way. Self-help sometimes are not helpful. Where do we go from here? Is it going to solve the problem? Is this the end of it? So these are the questions we should be asking. But above all, the responsibility and the obligation that the government has to say, okay, we should holistically look at this. Because you mentioned it when you started. Things have started deteriorating. Some of our own children that are giving them the information, that are giving this outsiders information, some of our children that are joining, how do we get them meaningfully engaged as well? So we should look at it holistically, and we shouldn't take it from the surface. It's not the first time that this kind of thing will happen, but has it solved a problem? No.
Rotimi Akeredolu has given the marching orders to herdsmen that have encroached the forest reserves of Ondo State. He also yesterday issued a directive for a mass recruitment of personnel into the Amotekun Corps so that they can carry out his directives of driving out illegal occupants of the forest reserves in Ondo State. Seyi Makinde is yet to give a very definite directive in this shade. Amotekun is still here. The commandant said he has less than 3,000 members in that team. When I come back from this break, Mr. FATAI OWOSENI will tell us what Governor Seyi Makinde is doing. Is he playing politics, or has the ship of state in Oyo State hit an iceberg? The podium returns in a moment. Please don't go anywhere.
32 FM 94.9.
Breakfast your day every day with the nourishment of malt, milk and cocoa and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Ẹ̀rọ wìtìwìtì ẹsẹ̀ gírígírí ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday láago mẹ́sàn-án òwúrọ̀. Ní new garage tí wọ́n ń wa mọ́tò tó lọ sí ìdí ayò rẹ̀. Gas Clinic Solution Mountain. Nínú pàdé agbára yẹn ni wọ́n ń lọ. Power must change hand. Agbára gbọ́dọ̀ yí ọwọ́ padà. Ọlọ́run wòlíì obìnrin gbẹ́mi Sọ́lá Ibrahim. Ó fẹ́ gbàjọba lọ́wọ́ alágbára tó ń yọ ayé rẹ lẹ́nu. Lọ́jọ́ Thursday ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí, olórí ogun ayé rẹ máa ṣubú lulẹ̀ nínú àdúrà. Àwọn àṣàmọ́gbé ogun máa fẹsẹ̀ fẹ́. Lábẹ́ ìfàmì òròyìn àpá wòlíì máa jẹ̀mú àti àwọn olórí ẹ̀mí tí wọ́n máa pẹ̀lú Prọfẹ̀tà gbẹ́mi Sọ́lá Ibrahim JP ṣiṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́. Big Clinic Solution Mountain. Kátó-dé ìdí ayùn rẹ̀ police station. Circular Road Junction ìdí ayùn rẹ̀. Kí gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń bọ̀. Fún omi kẹ̀kẹ́ lọ́wọ́. Pẹ̀lú yanrin ilẹ̀. Fúnra lọ́wọ́ àdúrà. 080-55-16-4104. Ní Thursday ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí agbára máa yí ọwọ́ padà. Ọ̀nà àbáyọ rẹ̀ máa là lórúkọ Jésù.
Ìtẹ̀síwájú nínú ìmọ̀ ló ń gbéni dókè téńté láwùjọ. Federal Cooperative College Ìbàdàn ti tẹ́ pẹpẹ ẹ̀kọ́ fún olúkúlùkù láti wá gba tiẹ̀. Ó ti pẹ́ tá a ti ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ Federal Cooperative College tí àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bẹ̀ sì ń ṣe dáadáa. Bí ìpele ẹ̀kọ́ diploma ṣe wà ní National Diploma àti Higher National Diploma ń bẹ nínú àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ bíi Cooperative Economics and Management, Business Administration, Accounting, Marketing, Computer Science àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Tó o bá sáà ti ní credit 5 nínú English, Maths, Biology tàbí Agri Science àti àwọn iṣẹ́ méjì míì ó kéré tán 2 sitting nínú ìdánwò WAEC, GCE, NECO tàbí NAPTEP á jẹ́ wípé ó ti perégedé láti ní admission sí Federal Cooperative College Ìbàdàn nìyẹn. Ètò ìgbaniwọlé sí full time àti part time lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ìwọ sáà ti tètè lọ gba fọ́ọ̀mù tiẹ̀ lónìí ní Federal Cooperative College lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ FAMIC Ẹlẹ́yẹlé Ìbàdàn 08038319232 tàbí 07038853407. Federal Cooperative College Ìbàdàn, ìgbésókè nínú ìmọ̀ ìwé.
For area, then they call me Baba 22. If you look my JC, number 22. My keke plate number encore 22. My house number, of course. I decack for number 22. But you sabi wetin really make them they call me Baba 22? Now because I dey groove 22 times bonus on top every recharge.
Yes, so if you don't take when you use your glow line, reactivate now, make you begin enjoy your own Ogbonge 22 times bonus on top every recharge. It dey pay to reactivate your glow line.
Whoa, unlimited.
Yaluma Bitters dé, okun àtagbára tá a nílò láti máa ṣiṣẹ́ akọni. Bí Yaluma Bitters bá ń bẹ lárọ̀ọ́wọ́tó mi, kì í rẹ̀ mí o. Ẹ̀mí wọn Naturalist Care Limited ló ṣe o.
Yaluma Bitters, ó Yaluma Kara, Yaluma Gara, Ọ̀kasani, tó ń gómọkùnrin kàkà bàjá ṣiṣẹ́ bí àrìrà lágọ̀ ara. Àkàmọ́yé gbòógì ni wọ́n fi ṣẹjọ́ Yaluma Bitters tó ń fúnni lókun àtagbára tá a nílò láti máa fakọyọ ṣẹṣẹ akọni. Kọ́pá yìí ó náà tọ̀tọ̀ kára ó yá gágá. Yaluma Bitters ni o. NAFDAC fòǹtẹ̀lù. Ilé-iṣẹ́ mi One Naturalist Care Limited ló ṣe. Ó wà number 17 Ọba Akínyẹlé Street off Adéògùn Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn. Telephone 08052255073 àti 08034051533. Yaluma Bitters ti wà ní chemist àti pharmacy stores lágbègbè rẹ̀. Lójúmọ́ la lágbàtà ń pọ̀ sí. Yaluma Bitters káì ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀.
Operation 727. Ìró ayọ̀ nílé wa o. Operation 727. Ó máa tún ti kan unstoppable glory. Lákòrí ẹ̀yìn o. Ọlọ́run tó pé màmá Bákàrẹ̀ àrùn ní ìbániṣe. Nílànà event center ló ti máa wáyé. Ohun Olúwa lè fún màmá Bákàrẹ̀. Ìpàdé àdúrà ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kan lọ́dún tó mì gbòòrò títí. Aago 7 àṣálẹ́ di 7 ìdájí. Operation 727 pẹ̀lú àkòrí fún tọdún èyí o. Unstoppable glory. Ògo tí o ṣe dá dúró. Ògo tó ju ògo lọ. Ọjọ́ 26 January 26 ní Delani Event Center ìdàkejì Ìbáremú lójú òpópónà Sango Sẹ́lẹ̀yẹlé Ìbáremú Market. Ibẹ̀ ló ti máa wáyé. Wòlíì ọmọ wòlíì pásítọ̀ Mrs. Ṣèyí Bákàrẹ̀ ló máa gbà wá lálejò. Unstoppable glory làkòrí ẹ̀yìn o. Ọlọ́run tó pé màmá Bákàrẹ̀ àrùn ní ìbániṣe.
Don Landio, my people for challenge Orita, New Garage, Felele, Sonyo, Gorich, Soka, plus include all the neighboring areas them. Living Proof Supermarket don't tanda gidigba for Felele. Yes, so Living Proof Bakery and Supermarket where they sell all kind daily needs for manufacturer's price, like a provision, beverages, toiletries, beauty products, and Babanla Orishirishi gift items them. Where we say na manufacturer's products you go get anything where you buy for Living Proof Supermarket, especially all of una where they dey gbaladu their sardine bread. Na as e dey hot and fresh, you go dey enjoy am. To get value for your money, no dey follow leg over again o. Na Living Proof Supermarket make you dey patronize. Dem dey opposite mainland filling station, Ologuneri Road, Eleyele, and their new outlet wey dey former Pinnacle Building along Challenge Road, Idiodo bus stop, Felele, Ibadan. Dem telephone be 080-3545-7120 abi 081-5466-4418. Living Proof Supermarket, na consumer friend.
Innocent blood after people. Whoa, oh yeah. Whoa, Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Whoa, 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 Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of
This is Don Carlos singing Harvest Time, reminding those in the corridors of power that the day of harvest is coming. Whatever you do, you're going to reap it. You cannot run away from the consequences of your action. I love karma. I love karma. Mr. FATAI OWOSENI, Special Advisor on Security to your State Governor, has been sparring with me for 1 hour, 8 minutes now. The program is going to run till 10 a.m. The time has been extended from 1.5 hours to 2 hours. He said, wow. Yes, wow, because we have you today and then.
You don't pay me for that.
No, like you said, we're all in this together. You can go on YouTube and engage me. You can ask questions on YouTube at 32FM 949 Ibadan. I assure you, every question will be taken, every comment will be read. You can also go to my Facebook page, HEZEKIAH OWOSENI AKINRINDE. I posted some questions there. Go and drop your comments. Come on YouTube at 32FM 949 Ibadan. Drop your comments, ask your questions. Mr. OWOSENI, Governor Seyi Makinde. In fact, let's start with Akeredolu.
Yes,
Akeredolu gave marching orders.
Yes, you raised it before we had that break.
Let me just say it again because for the purpose of those who may be joining.
Okay.
Now, he told them, leave the forests of Ondo states. Garba Shehu responded in the very usual malevolent style of this federal government that makes you to ask a question. If we're running Federal Republic of Nigeria or Fulani Republic of Nigeria, he came out and made a statement that suggested he was having the back of the herdsmen, saying no one should chase anybody out of anywhere. The Ondo State government has responded, and one of the ways they've responded is to say Amoteku should recruit more persons so that they can have enough force of numbers to push out those who have illegally occupied their space. The Ondo State governor is yet to make a categorical statement. Is Seyi Makinde playing politics, or is he afraid of the federal government?
I will start by still going back to history. A nation that don't do institutional memory will continue to get it wrong. The forest reserves are like restricted, what we call restricted area, the military restricted area. And of course, we grew up to know them to be forest reserves. Even then, the people that rear animals know that they are restricted area. They don't go in there. And you had what is called the forest guards in those days. Apart from the forest guards, you also had a police with a very strong mounted troop section, a cavalry section that used to go into those forests. At a point in time, because of the decadence we're having, the forest reserves officers, the forest reserve guards, some of them are getting old, retiring, some of them are dying, and no one has come to think of it. Because then, it's not just about guarding the forest, it is legislated. It's like when they call, what has been put into law that you cannot do certain things there. And those forest guards Some of them were brought to the Forestry Research Institute here. They were trained, properly trained, not just to guard the forest. They even know what this leaf, what this tree is all about. They know the ones that are going into extinction. Even when you go do timber work, if a timber gets to a sawmiller, they can easily say that this particular tree is coming from this forest. We left all those things. Even the police that has been bastardized, the mounted troopers are no more there. The horses are no more there. The camelry section is dead because there's a large expanse that you have in there. And of course, the government came up with the agro rangers. How much tools have they provided for the agro rangers? Are we to revive the mounted troop section so that you have horses? Because some of those places have more or less turned to, whether anyone likes it or not, it has been a controversy among the intellectuals, the concept of ungoverned places. Because we did not maintain those, measures again, they have now turned to ungoverned places. Some of our big men will get into power and acquire some of these places, and they won't do anything in 10, 15 years. Some governments will even come and acquire places. They won't touch it. You have pursued the farmers that have been farming there. Hunters too cannot go there. Nature abhors vacuum, and you will now see miscreants, they will now dominate the place and turn the place to their own because it remains ungoverned, so miscreants are now the government there. So we should go back to history. Recruiting more Hamotekun, is that the solution?
Don't you need more hands?
No, not definitely so. Why can't we also go back to that? Why can't we recruit experienced forest guards as well?
But that could take time. What Akinrinde wants to do is in the interim to say, look, leave this place first.
If you have those things, because of the wide expanse of the place, you need horses and all those things. Are we going to train the Hamotekun? What are we doing in Oyo State?
Fine.
If you bring in the commandant of the civil defense here, it will let you know the support that have been given to the agro rangers that have been created, who are working hand in hand with the management of the old Oyo Park. For us in Oyo State, that whole Oyo Park covers like about 5 or 6 local governments here, starting from Olonshogo, Irekpo, Orelope, the part of Orire, part of Shaki East, and entering Kwara State through Boni or Kayama or whatever. So it's a long stretch for us. And the governor had, since he personally went to Abuja to meet the Minister of Interior, that we need the agro rangers to come and work with us. If you are giving each of the states 10, please give us 100, give us 200.
Do we have them now?
Oh, we have agro rangers.
How many do we have?
The civil defense. I can't give you the figure now. If you call the commandant of the civil defense, they will tell you. And they are being empowered. So they're working hand in hand with some of the elements of our Hamotekun and some of the elements of the non-state actors in those places. There have been deliberate efforts that we are working on how to also get government presence. When we had that problem towards Ikeruku or whatever, we had to go and, open the police post there and, putting people together, non-state actors, the people that are born there that, know the place very well. And these are the things that we're doing. We improve on them, strengthen the agro rangers, which the government has created now, and use the element of the non-state actors and Hamotekun to further dominate the place. And so far, so good. We are managing it. But we should also always go back to this institutional memory so that we would be able to solve problem holistically.
Are we going to ask the headers who have made our forest reserves in Oyo State a home for themselves to live or not?
Well, once you have presence, the agro rangers that have been working, there have been so many things that have been done there. Arrests have been made and all those things. But I can tell you that except the criminal elements, my experience in Benue State, if I must share it, and that is why I said we should be very careful. You know that the normal herders, sometimes because they've been part of us, they know how to settle the problems amicably with the farmers. But the monstrous people that are engaged in these heinous crimes are actually not herders per se. These are guys that are highly mobile. I saw them in Benue State. You can check the record in Benue State. We did our best.
How did you handle them?
We did our best. And of course, we lived to the fact that the only instrument that a security personnel is obligated to is the Constitution, not to an individual. So once we're able to live that, I am not praising myself, but within the period, it was at the heat of that. But is that solving the problem? What will solve the problem is to go back to the drawing board. How do we prevent this? Because this thing has been recurring since the colonial regime. And, the resources get on, thinning down that we make for competition. Cows will struggle for water with human beings. Cows will struggle with human beings for even living, habitation. Most of the areas that had been earmarked as a grazing land are no more tenable for grazing land. And we should do a deliberate effort to also educate our people. I'm using this opportunity to pass a message to the people that rear cattle, for God's sake. It's a shame that you go to big restaurants, the cow legs and the cow tails you hear there are from South Africa because they don't suffer their animals. They ranch them. So why can't our people learn from that? Why can't our people that says, it's a culture and tradition to be moving cows around, learn from the fact that before we're using leaves to cover ourselves? Why did we not remain using the leaves? The society is evolving. They must evolve with it. But it's going to be, an holistic approach. We shouldn't be solving the problem on the surface.
Okay, let me hold you there. I need to read a few comments. And then I'll cut into another part of the interview. Now, this is Adebayo Ademola. Of course, I'm going to take some of these questions. I have them on board already. But let me read. Adebayo Ademola says, what is the response of the government to the challenge of Sunday Igboho to go against the governor's directive to not chase anyone out of Ibarakwa Okyogo access? Raphael Osai says the government has allowed this kidnapping, destruction of farmlands, and impunity by the herdsmen to go on for too long, and it has so far been handled with kid gloves. Then also in the video circulating on social media, this is Adebayo Ademola, Sunday Igboho was seen virtually raising his own army to achieve this. Is this not a serious concern for anarchy? Raphael Osai again says the people who have found succor in Sunday Igboho to liberate them should not be blamed. This only further brings to the fore the failure of government in the area of security and intelligence gathering. Ola Reshi TV says the way Mr. OWOSENI is talking, Oyo State will soon become Borno. Some Yoruba politicians always want to be politically correct. OWOSENI is not realistic on this present Fulani Wahala in Oyo State. Yeah. So shots fired at you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes. That's the essence of democracy, for everyone to hear his opinion.
Of course.
The truth must be told. We must be sincere to ourselves.
Okay, so let's be sincere with this.
Yes.
I don't want you to go on that because I need to bring in something. Now, the truth from you. Yes. Sunday Igboho issued a threat, and like an omoko, he fulfilled it yesterday. In the eye of the Oyo State government, and in the light of that broadcast by the governor, that 5-minute broadcast, is Sunday Igboho seen as a thug or an activist who loves his people by the Oyo State government?
I will leave that one. I would not give you an answer to that one.
There should be an opinion of the government.
No, His Excellency has made his point that the state would not allow unconstitutional means to be used in addressing the problems.
But it happened yesterday.
And of course, the security apparatus is there and whatever. Let us live to
the Seriki's palace was burnt yesterday. Fulanis were driven out of Igogo yesterday.
We must say, myself and
Igbo has defied the governor.
Myself and you, we had a conversation when we had that break. Unfortunately, our leaders in the Southwest may not like it. We make too much noise. And of course, when it comes to security, noise is not made. I will leave it at that point. Sometimes you also don't want to expose yourself. And that is why sometimes as well, even what Sunday Igboho is talking or whatever, is that the best way? We leave that to posterity, and we leave that to the security apparatus to do their work.
He has defied the governor.
The truth that I want us to take is that, are we ready for it?
For what?
No, for whatever that will be the aftermath. Is this the solution?
The consequence of yesterday?
Is this the solution to what is happening? That is it.
But do you beat a child and tell the child not to cry?
Look, like I said, security issues are delicate and complex issues. Anyone may say whatever. Have they been there before? Some of us have been there before. Have we seen it elsewhere before? Some of us have seen it. Let us wait and see. Not just in Nigeria. Some of us also had the opportunity to also work outside this country. Yoruba people would say that you know, or dear, ni woman so jade. If we are saying that we want to break Nigeria, if we are talking that we want to have a civil war, and that is why ignorantly some people will even say, take your matter to the United Nations. As United Nations solve any problem, I've been opportuned to be in some of those countries that fought civil war. We're lucky the way our civil war ended. Is that the way we want to go about it? From experience and what we've seen, we must be cautious in the way we do things. And we must also rely on institutional memory. We shouldn't continue to take fire brigade approaches to solving our problems.
Mr. OWOSENI, the governor came out as an executive governor.
Yes.
And there was a broadcast that whosoever will foment trouble in Oyo State will be picked up. In fact, when he hosted the new Commissioner of Police, Ngozi Onodeko, he said it to her. He said, arrest whosoever will foment trouble. He was encouraging the police. Igboho did a lot of short videos saying that the 7-day ultimatum I've given, I am going to keep to it. And yesterday, Igboho mobilized a crowd. I saw the video of countless cars, countless motorbikes, and the people who gathered, people who came from Lanlate and the rest of them. And he addressed them as a hero. He defied the government. He defied the governor's directive. Fulanis were driven out of Igogo yesterday. The palace of the Seriki was burnt. 11 cars were burnt to the ground. What will the governor do? Is this not a requisite for anarchy? If Sunday Igboho has done it, he said he would do it, and he did it as an omoko, will the government arrest Sunday Igboho now? Or will he be allowed to go scot-free?
Continue to clap for him. Okay?
I asked a question.
No, continue to clap.
I'm not clapping.
No.
You are Yoruba, Mr. OWOSENI, you are Yoruba, I'm Yoruba.
Yes.
Whoever says he will do it and he does it, Yoruba say he's omoko.
Yes.
Whosoever says he will do it and he chickens out, Yorubas will say he's omali. I'm not clapping for Igbo.
Yes.
I'm asking a question.
Yes.
The governor spoke with the authority as an executive governor, and he reiterated it on different fora all through the week. But yesterday, Sunday Igbo went to Igogon. In fact, the Seriki said Operation Burst officials were on hand when his house was burnt. He said some members of the police force were there when his house was burnt. He said some members of the Amotaku Corps also looked on while mayhem was unleashed on his people. Many of their Igas were burnt. What will the state government do?
The governor has spoken. The security apparatus is there. They will do their work.
But they were there yesterday.
Let's leave it.
They saw it.
Let's leave it like that.
They were spectators.
Let's leave it like that. Give it whatever narrative you want.
Is Igbo going to be arrested?
Any narrative you want to give. I just know that the security apparatus is there to discharge their obligation.
Are you worried, or are you not worried, that if you pick up Sunday Igbo, those who are his supporters will arise in anger? Are we not going to have another case of a leader of a group being picked and then his supporters reacting?
You say
you don't want to tell me.
The security apparatus know their work and they will do their work.
I'll go on a commercial break. When I come back, this conversation will continue. You see, Mr. Fatai Osheni practically parrying my questions. You don't want to tell me if Igbo will be arrested.
I told you I have been there before. I served for 35 years. I have chopped uniform. I know, if you've won the shoe, you know where it pinches. So strategies are there. The security apparatus will do their work. I'm not the commissioner of police. I'm not
the security
commander.
Advisor.
Yes.
The governor listens to you on security.
Yes, so that is
because by experience you are even older than the present commissioner of police.
And the governor has also made his own.
Where was he yesterday? Where was he yesterday? Where were you yesterday when Sunday Igbo visited Igogon?
I'm here in Ibadan. I was
in Ibadan.
Yes.
What were you doing? How did you receive the news? Well, Sunday Igbo still went ahead.
What is new in what he has done? That is why I said that the security apparatus know what.
Is there a secret between Seyi Makinde and Sunday Igbo?
Oh, you can have.
That made Igbo to defy the governor.
You have not asked me whether there's a secret between me and Sunday Igbo.
My focus is Seyi Makinde. Seyi Makinde was one who gave the directive that don't go there, don't do this.
His Excellency has executed and, of course, render his obligation as the state governor, and, of course, people that will give effect to that instruction and directives know how to go about it.
I'll take my final commercial break. When I come back, I will open the phone lines so that you can engage Mr. Fatai Osheni. But that will be after I've asked a question about the secret between Seyi Makinde and Sunday Igbo that made Igbo to daredevilishly move into Igogo yesterday. The Podium will be back.
32 FM 94.9.
Breakfast your day every day with the nourishment of malt, milk and cocoa and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ nípasẹ̀ ìròyìn BBC ní Yorùbá. Nítorí kí o tó lè tayọ, o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n. Ní ìmísí pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ìròyìn láti ibi àti káàkiri àgbáyé. Nígbà tí o bá ní ìmọ̀ nípa ohun tó ń lọ ní àgbáyé, o lè ṣe ohunkóhun. Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ. Wá BBC News Yorùbá kàn.
With the current situation and unemployment rate in Nigeria, business experts have advised to be vocationally trained in order to avoid hunger, and that is why Aquatech College of Agriculture and Technology, an institution that is government accredited and JAMB approved, has put in place a masterclass about fishery, animal health, and farming. Admission for the 2021 session has started for all students who have 5 credits in mathematics and English being compulsory. All certificates from our school can be used to further your education in different higher institutions, both home and abroad. We are located at Education Zone, Aquatech Bus Stop, along Adeoyo Hospital, Fortheseas area, Ibadan. For further details, contact us on
070-2526-2728.
With Aquatech, your future is secured.
Bisola, can you imagine if you just win 100 million naira? 100 million naira? First, that will change my name from Bisola to Bisola Mele. Hey, Bisola Mele. I say, before you say payment, babes, I don't start that shoe business where I don't dream of sins. I say, girl. Before you know it, babes, I gonna open like 4 or 5 extra branches for different parts of town where Sengale. No time to check time. Next thing, my business gonna involve because they travel, they go supply shoes for different parts of the whole wide world. Remember me for your kingdom.
Turn your daydreams into reality and stand a chance to win up to 100 million naira every week with Glow Rewards. Over 70,000 customers have already received cash rewards, and you can be next. Simply dial *777 *6#, then start recharging and start earning big. Visit glowworld.com/Glow Rewards for more details. Terms and conditions apply.
Glow Unlimited.
ó pọ̀ rẹ́kẹrẹ́kẹ́ nílé ìtajà fóònù MD Global Communication wọlé kanlẹ̀ sí yàrá ìtajà wọn kó mẹ́yìíkéyìí ẹ̀rọ ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ tó bá wù ọ́ pẹ̀lú àsansílẹ̀ owó péréte tó sì mọ sàn yòókù ní mọ̀dámọ̀dá. MD Global Communication nìkan ló ti lè ráwọn ojúlówó ẹ̀rọ ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ bíi iPhone, Samsung, Nokia, Infinix, Tecno àti Itera lówó pọ́kú. Kò sí fóònù tẹ́ra níbẹ̀ tí ò lálòpẹ́. Kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí lè ro yàwọ̀ yàrá ìtajà wọn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò sí séyìíkéyìí phone accessories tẹ́ wá débẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá. Pabambari ẹ̀ ní iPhone pẹ̀lú Samsung tuntun àti UK used tó lálòpẹ́ tán tà lọ́dọ̀ wọn. Wọlé kanlẹ̀ kó mú fóònù kó sì mọ sanwó ẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn. Kàn sí wọn ní AA Complex nífẹ̀gbẹ́kẹ̀gbẹ́ ọjà Academy along Express Road, Iwo Road, Ìbàdàn. Ẹ̀rọ ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ wọn 08060628848. MD Global Communication kò pọ̀ kẹ̀ ó pọ̀ rẹ́kẹrẹ́kẹ́.
bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bá nígbà okòwò kan bí ẹni kó gbogbo ẹyin rẹ̀ sínú àgọ́ adìẹ kan ni láti wá ṣẹ́gi ọ̀rọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ ẹ̀yà àfowópamọ́ owó pẹ̀lú UFirst Global Investment Limited iléeṣẹ́ àdójútòfò tí ń bá ní pílẹ̀ ọ̀la pẹ̀lú oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà ìrọ̀rùn tí ò ní fọni níkun bíi discipline and target savings and investment tó dàbí àjẹsẹ́kù fi díẹ̀ pamọ́ children education savings èyí tó fini lọ́kànbalẹ̀ lórí ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa lọ́jọ́ iwájú tó fi mọ́ fixed deposit ìyẹn pípọn mílẹ̀ dòǹgbẹ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ èyíkéyìí tẹ́ bá yàn láàyò omi sẹ́lẹ̀rú ni tí ó padà di alágbálúgbú lẹ́yìn wá ọ̀la ẹ wá lè wọlé sórí àwọn pèpele UFirst Global Investment bíi easy access children education àti fixed deposit wọ̀nyí ó kéré tán láàrin oṣù 12 tí ṣe ọdún kan tàbí ó pẹ́ jù ọdún 9 sọ́dún 18 láfiní ẹ̀kan sí wọn lórí ayélujára Instagram @u_first Facebook @u_global investment limited tàbí Twitter @ufirst_limited website ufirstglobal.com ẹ̀rẹ̀ lè yọjú sí ọ́fíìsì UFirst ní number 22 third floor Rational Building lẹ́yìn Fẹ́mi Johnson Òkè Bọ́lá Ìbàdàn tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 0815 035 7844 UFirst ìwọ làkọ́kọ́.
Safa sapeli sizo simnyama Iwasafa Isizo saba Yamula mo Halijani mo Kalize Wenaye wemodo Safa sapeli sizo simnyama Iwasafa Isizo saba Yamula mo Halijani mo Kalize Mayengakala Pasafasa Pelisizo Sinyama Iwasafa Isizo Sabatu Alamulava Haningo Kalize.
All right, because I have 25 more minutes on the program, the phone lines are open. You can call me and share your thoughts. 080-97,949, 090-62,000. 949. Remember, you can watch on YouTube at 32FM 949 Ibadan. Watch, drop your comments, ask your question. Now, before I pick the first phone call, Mr. Owoseni, were you a part of the campaign activities of Seyi Makinde?
I think I was still a policeman that time.
Okay.
Yes, I have just retired.
So you were a part? Did you provide security?
I'm not.
Okay, because I was going to ask you. Yes. I saw a video yesterday. Sunday Igboho is not new to politics. He's a political mercenary of renown. I mean, he's been in the employ of a number of politicians in previous years. And he was playing table tennis in his compound. And was daring the governor. He didn't mention them, but of course, you could know. He said, when you wanted to be governor, you were carrying me around and you were using me to achieve your means. Now, I want to fight for my people. You're saying you will arrest me. I dare you to arrest me.
Freedom of expression.
Did you work for Seyi Makinde?
I am working for the state and His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde at the moment.
Was Sunday Igboho a mercenary that Seyi employed during the 2019 Guba campaign exercise?
I wouldn't have known.
Okay. 090-62949 and 0097949. This is your time. I'll give a maximum of 1 minute 30 seconds to each caller. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Pastor HEZEKIAH AKINRINDE.
AKINRINDE, thank you.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Owoseni, the special assistant.
Special advisor. Special advisor.
Good morning, sir.
Special advisor.
Morning, sir.
Advisor to His Excellency.
Morning, sir. Yes, sir.
My name is Tony Brown.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so very much for broadening the narrative on the issue of security in Oyo State. That is the ethnic questions and the narrative of the Western Nigeria Security Network.
You have 1 minute more.
I have always spoke against tagging an ethnic group as criminal element. Criminality cut across all races, and therefore any criminal in the forest of the Oyo State or even the Southwest, irrespective of whether it's Fulani, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, etc., should be flushed out. The comment of His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde on the begging issues of Sunday Igboho, in my opinion, is a wise saying. It's the wisest thing to say as the chief security officer of the state. For me, Sunday Igboho would have told the lie of the governor. For obvious reasons, the governor is in charge of Oyo State. And when the issues will arise, if any, it is the governor that will answer the question. So I have thought that Sunday Igboho, when he took action, would have just listened and told the line of the governor. And my prayer this morning is that the Almighty God should continue to enrich the governor's wisdom to lead. But
Amen.
People in Oyo State and even in the Southwest, politicians or otherwise, should stop that noise making. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tony Brown. 090-62949 and 080-97949. You can call and share your thoughts or ask your questions. Mr. Owoseni is happy to answer every question. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for calling. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Temitayo from Ojo.
You have 1 minute.
Yes, I greet the special advisor to the governor of security matters.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I don't want us to add tribal sentiment to this. Are you getting me? What Sunday Igboho has done is not different from the ultimatum given to Matthew Azankuka in Sokoto State. Sunday Igboho could have just listened to what the governor has said. Even if you listen to the governor's press release, I didn't see anything like the governor supporting one ethnic group against the other. He inaugurated the Amotekun, which you all know is a Yoruba agenda. So I just pray this doesn't get to it. I can tell you categorically this morning that my families from Kano and Sokoto State has been calling me. You know, everybody is afraid of a reprisal attack. I'm not sure we are ready for this. May the Lord help this nation.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me take some more comments from YouTube. Raphael Osai says Mr. Fatai Owoseni is simply being evasive. Why is he not answering the questions? Who is he scared of? He's not sounding like he's fit for the office he occupies.
Thank you, sir. I was fit to serve Nigeria for 35 years. You can as well come to the studio and
okay.
answer it the way you want.
Adebayo Ademola says Sunday Igboho appears to be above the law as Mr. Fatai OWOSENI is shying away from condemning his act. Then OPPY, is that Okmokpa or what? OPPY Alade_Shogo says, good morning, Bishop. God bless the work of your hands. Your guest today has been dodging sensitive questions. He is on the side of the government. My take.
I thank you, sir. Okay. I will always refer to what happened before our independence. The Southwesterners, I may not be old enough to like some of them. When we're going to have independence, the North people said, let us understand ourselves first. There's something that has been fundamentally wrong. You have a constitution that is a converted one. Tomo bati owo bati tekuda. So let us first onboarding the constitution. Okay. Everybody is talking about restructuring. Let us devolve powers first, and we're going to get there. I'm hopeful.
Okay, Babsan says Mr. OWOSENI got on the hair. More like he's got his heart in his mouth. Our state should be safe for us all. So as Nigeria as a whole, if we have to continue living together as one. Olareshi TV says Fulani herdsmen need to be handled with iron hand in Southwest if we want everlasting peace. Northerners do not think like Southwesterners. If we are not cutting them, herdsmen now, it will be too late.
Yeah, so let me also say this. What some people will not know, forget about what people present themselves to be outside. Quite a number of the cattle that you see on the road are owned by some of the people that are, making this lamentation. You give your cows and whatever to some person from the north because you think they understand the language of the cow.
Does the government know those people? The government knows these people you're talking about?
The people know themselves. A whole lot of people that are farmers.
No, I'm asking if the government knows those people, these big men in Yoruba land.
You cannot have a complete sense of them. What I'm saying is that let us be very careful. Security issues are complex issues. Some of the people that come out now to come and say this or that,
their own cows,
from experience, because I have been there before. When you even arrest some of these cattle rearers, the first thing you will see, you will get a telephone call
from big men,
so-called people that are making noise.
Why are we not doing naming and shaming them?
And they will also come and tell you to say, oh, do you know that guy works for me or whatever, and all those things. What we should do in Nigeria, just like I started, we must live to that chapter 2 of the Constitution. We should allow the rule of law to come into force. We should be able to also make people to face consequences of the
Why
action.
are we not doing name and shame?
Look,
if we know them,
yes.
Why are we not naming them? That look, General so-and-so owns cattle, this owns cattle, then people know who to hold responsible.
We all have a responsibility towards that.
I don't know them. You know them, Mr. OWOSENI.
It's even we.
You have access to reports I don't see.
When I was in service, I've seen cases of such. Is it the police that has the responsibility to do that? No. So we must have a rebirth in this country for everything to go on well.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Thank you, good morning.
Yes, I would like to make some comments, please.
Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, I'll do that. My name is Engineer Twinkle Oruwarige.
Okay.
I'm born in here, bred in Ibadan here.
Great, you're welcome.
I want to talk about Amateko.
1 minute.
Good morning to both of you, and good morning to our
good morning, sir.
Commissioner. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
You're doing a great job. As I said, I want to talk about Amateko, but if I introduce myself, I'm a specialist on Chinese activities. I go to China for the last 7 years. Now, concerning Amoteco, last week I listened to your station, your interview on the Amoteco
commandant. Yes.
Yes. And I listened to your beginning of your statement, this program today. And I feel that you didn't write down anything that the commandant told you last week. If you did, you would not have opened this interview today the way you did. You are saying that he was attacking you. He was not attacking you. He was explaining to you.
I didn't say he attacked me. I said it was feisty. I said the atmosphere was feisty and combative, and that's the truth.
No problem, but you are still negative. And if I would advise that you take notes when you're interviewing important people like that. Just take some notes that you can refresh your memory with. Then also, our advisor to the governor, please, if His Excellency can donate a bus that can follow Amotekun, and you invite all these journalists to go in that bus, or let them follow, so that they will get first-hand information. And because these journalists, the way they are talking, they can cause problem when there's no problem. Please, if His Excellency can donate a bus, all these journalists follow.
In fact, the media has that obligation under the Constitution to be an oversight institution for every arms of government and every people that is in government.
Okay, and I do think that the job of the media is not to make anybody happy. It is to say it as it is, ensuring balance and fairness in whatever we do. Talking about the Amotekun commandant, my statement was clear. It was feisty. It was combative. No bad blood. We expect things like that, especially when people are passionate.
And people do learn lessons from such things.
Absolutely.
It may not be openly demonstrated, but when everyone goes home, you reflect on it and say, okay, maybe I should have done this way or that way.
All right. I promised this person I was going to read this comment. So this is to you, because the person actually wanted to send to you. He said, please help me read this. Okay. Pastor O. Israel says, you're my governor and I love you to the moon and back. He's talking about the governor. But your response to this matter is absolutely wrong. Your essay on security matters is misleading you. How do you feel? Especially regarding this matter at hand. And please handle this matter with care. Invite all the traditional rulers in Irua and Igogo Town Hall to Igogo Town Hall and appeal to them. Relate with them and console them for their loss. Check on the affected families. All this will cost you nothing. Rather, it increases your love in the heart of your citizens and give those people an impression that their leader is responsible. And from the venue of that meeting, use your body language to tell Sunday same thing. But we, the government, will rise and take up our responsibilities. Thank you. Such statement is not an endorsement of hooliganism, but leadership diplomacy. After all, its cause is for same with good intentions, until it's proven otherwise without assumption or ambiguities. Please, your advisor should do his work well now. Haba, this alone, if it's not properly handled, can ruin all your good motives. Okay, so he said, I pray for you always and declare. All right, he said the same way you handled the hashtag EndSARS protest, that the whole nation was hailing you. Peace in your heart. Bless you. All right, so, I mean, you're getting the flags there because, I mean, you are the security advisor.
I'm happy with that. It's very interesting. And if he must know that the government has been engaging people in that axis, in Barakpa Okyogun.
Okay.
If some of them will come out, we've engaged all the chairmen of the local government, the people. And that is one thing I must also emphasize here. Everyone is now a security expert. People have been calling for a security summit. Which security summit has solved our problems? The 35 years I served in the Nigeria police, I know different inspector generals of police as security summit.
Ajimobi had one.
After the talk, what follows? That is not the
Ajimobi had one. Operation Boss came out of it.
And when you have security summit, you call a large number of people that would not tell you exactly what it is. Everyone is afraid to talk, and that is why when you are engaging people in discussion, you look for the key stakeholders that will also not go and disclose things.
Good morning.
I take the comment in good faith.
Good morning. Thank you. Your name and where you're calling from?
You're doing a very good job there, my brother. I've said this before. I'm repeating it again this morning.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Let me quickly reflect on the last caller, the man talking about your engagement.
Your name and where you're calling from first.
Okay,
it's important for people.
Let's do it that way.
Thank you.
Are you there?
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Yes, I said I would want to start by reflecting on the last caller. You know, he was trying to take you up on your engagement with the second commandant. Let me tell you, I tried all to reach you guys that day. The Amotekun commandants will need to be tutored, I tell you. He's not doing you any favor for coming on your program. The Amotekun of a thing is being bankrolled by the taxpayers' money. He's also being paid with our money. So if there are issues for him to come on here to clear, he shouldn't see it as something extraordinary. The atmosphere, as Riley painted it, was combative, and I enjoyed it. In fact, you didn't end up that program very well that day. Maybe you were not conscious of the time.
Yeah.
But let's leave that.
Okay.
To the commissioner there, I think you should call him